Alright folks, how you doing? So unfortunately, my fellow Scottish YouTuber Get Skeptic has made another headache inducing video which is completely misleading and false and frankly ignorant about, how like the Wallaces, the Bruces and the Stewarts were really English, Anglo-Norman and all this sort of thing. I thought I would just kind of make this quick video about what a Scot is by definition. Now, I've already kind of made a video about the origin of the word Scot, how it's actually a Roman racial derogatory name. I'll link that below and I'll link it also above so you can go watch that. But, in this video I'm going to be talking about my own ancestral lineage, and hopefully that should clarify things as to, what a Scot really is and like the different components which genetically make up the Scottish people, because the Scots are not a homogenous race. In any part of any country you're going to have differences between, for example, Northern Italians and Southern Italians, or Northern Germans and Southern Germans. Those from Bavaria, how they're different from those from Saxony, or how Northern French are different from Southern French, etc., etc. You look within any country in the world practically, unless it's incredibly small, but almost every country, it has like differences between different kind of tribal groups going back in time, and Scotland is no exception, because Scotland is an amalgamation of 4 different kingdoms that kind of came together, and those are the kingdoms of the Strathclyde-Britons, the Northumbrians, the Picts, and the Dalriada, and also the Gaels as well. In fact, it might be overly simple to say it was only 4 different kingdoms that kind of came together to form the Kingdom of Alba, which would become the Kingdom of Scotland. By the way, Scotland to this day is still a kingdom. It still is the Kingdom of Scotland. And we already are independent. This whole thing about Scottish independence, how are we not independent? We already have our own laws. We have our own legal system, we have our own language, we have our own currency, we have our own parliament. So let's have a look at my own genetic makeup, and hopefully this should clarify the situation somewhat. Alright, so if we have a look here at my results from Ancestry.com, you can see that my makeup is 98% Scottish and 2% Welsh. Let's have a look at the surnames which make up my most immediate family lineage, starting with Clan Robertson. Clan Donacade come from the Hebridean Islands, and unsurprisingly that makes them Dalriadan, the Kingdom of Dalriada. They come from Iona originally. And on my mother's side we have Clan Hunter, which is also Dalriadan. Hunter was my mother's father's name. So I've got Dalriadan ancestry on both my paternal and maternal sides. My mother and father's side are both descended from the Sea Kingdom of the Dalriada. Also on my mother's side there's Clan MacClung, which was a Strathclyde-Briton people in the borderlands. And on my father's side I'm descended from also Clan Watson, which is Anglo-Saxon. As you can see, it comes from an old Germanic name, so English, Scottish and Irish, and also on my father's side, I'm descended from another Dalriadan group called the Pattersons, again English, Scottish and Irish, and also on my father's side, I'm descended from Clan Young, which is also Anglo-Saxon, which can also be found in Germany. And on my father's side as well, there is Clan Fraser, which is his mother's side, which is thought to be Norman in origin, though it's hard to prove. Everything I've seen looking into Clan Fraser suggests that it was actually Norman, but this website's a little non-committal about it. And finally we also have Clan Lovett, which is Anglo-Norman for wolf cub. So let's just go back and emphasize here. According to these results, 98% Scottish. So if you want to look at the history even of your own family origins, I recommend looking at the website houseofnames.com and type in your parents' surnames and your grandparents' surnames and see what comes up. You might find Anglo-Saxon, you might find Gaelic, you might find Anglo-Norman, Dalriadan, Strathclyde-Briton. I mean, I did, and I'm 98% Scottish, and I've got Norman blood, I've got Strathclyde-Briton blood, I've got Anglo-Saxon blood. You have to realise that the people, the Scots, the Dalriadans, only form up a part of the Kingdom of Scotland. It also contains other genetic groups, such as Anglo-Saxons, Anglo-Norman, Strathclyde-Briton, Picts, Gaels. But hopefully that clarifies the situation somewhat, that even if you have Anglo-Saxon ancestry, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're English. Because the fact of the matter is, the Normans were actually invited into Scotland. They didn't take over the country. They were granted lands by the kings, more often than not. They were actually allowed to come in to Scotland to settle, because that's how politics works. It was a political arrangement that benefited both sides. The king has a loyal retainer with, men at arms and knights and all this who can come and fight for him when called upon. And, the Norman lord has an area that he holds in trust of the king. So this is how politics works. This is feudalism. The Normans were invited into areas like Scotland because they were very powerful and they were very proficient warriors, and they had a long track record. It was mutually beneficial. It was mutually, to everyone's benefit. But understand that politics is not as simple as one group just comes in and hand waves off another group. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, thanks for watching.